hello everybody, and welcome back to Kristen's Whimsical Journey. So today's video is gonna be kind of different. So I kind of have a two-part intro to this video, and I have a good reason behind that. So the video I am going to showcase for you guys today I actually filmed back in August. And I know lately past couple months I haven't put out a video, and I'm really sorry for that, you guys. Working a full-time job, trying to help my mom with our small business that we have kind of takes precedence sometimes over my YouTube channel, but I'm working on figuring out a schedule so that that doesn't happen again. But the first video I wanted to bring back to you guys is very important to me. So as many of y'all have seen on the news, here in Florida, we just had a devastating hurricane with Hurricane Ian, and the Fort Myers area was hit really bad. And this video today is actually on the Edison and Ford winter estate that they have there. And as somebody who has lived through a Category 5 hurricane, I feel that still bringing their history of the city is very important. The state of Florida is big into tourism, and we need tourists to come here and to continue to visit. And what I learned during Hurricane Michael is that a lot of people didn't come back to Panama City because they thought every part of the city was destroyed. Now, if you were on the side of the bridge where Panama City, Callaway, all those areas are, it was devastated, and we could not handle tourism at the time. But if you went onto the Panama City beach side, it was actually fine over there. A lot of the people, if you talk to them about stories of the hurricane, they don't have them. So my point is that not every part of Fort Myers is destroyed right now. And those people with certain tourist spots, they still need your help. So not that it's the time to go there right now, but I have been on the Edison and Ford's Facebook page, and they survived the storm. The houses are all perfectly fine that you're going to see in this video. The two gorgeous trees that I'm going to showcase, they survived. Now they did lose some trees, but they're perfect. They're ready as soon as they get power back and they get some of these trees cleaned up that did fall down. They're ready to open back up and to showcase their history of Edison and Ford and what they did for Fort Myers area. And so I want to make sure that I get this video out there so that you guys can see what a amazing place this is, and to help the community. You know, you can go down to Fort Myers, you can help the citizens that do need help, and you can also go and visit this great museum as well. So I really want to encourage you guys to not think Florida is closed. There's a lot of areas here that have been devastated. You go over to close to Disney in Kissimmee, and there's some bad flooding there. Daytona Beach got a lot of really bad flooding. Up towards Jacksonville, they have some bad flooding. Even here in my hometown, there's trees down everywhere. They're on houses. Please don't count our state out. Like, we need you guys to continue to come, and we want to share with you guys our beautiful state and our history here. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will have some more information at the end if you guys want to help and donate with any different organizations to help the Fort Myers area out, or any of these devastated areas, and I'll have that at the end of the video. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and thanks again so much for watching. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another Kristen's Whimsical Journey. So we are in Fort Myers, Florida today, and we are at the Edison Ford Winter Retreat. And today we're here to explore these great historical houses that they have here. So Edison actually came to Fort Myers in 1885 in search of bamboo for his light bulbs, and he found this great piece of property. It's between 13 to 14 acres that it originally was. It's gone to about 21, close to 22 acres that it is now, and it is a gorgeous location. It's right here on the river, and so we're just going to check out all these great historical buildings that they have here and see what this great site has for us. So I hope you guys enjoy on our fun little journey today. So our first stop is actually this pier. So this was actually the first thing that Edison built on the property. And because of the fact that the railroad was not coming down here, it didn't come down until 1904, Edison needed a way to bring materials here to build his house. So he built this pier. Of course, this is all that's left is the islands. Look at these adorable ducks. Hey guys, good morning. So they ended up having a boat as well that was at the end of the pier, and he built a boathouse at the end, and of course, being Edison, he had it where it electrified the launch so it would keep it recharged. Throughout the estate, they have all this great signage. You guys know how much I love signage and all the information on them. And it actually shows a picture here of the dock and a pavilion that they built out there. So unfortunately, the original pavilion was washed away in a storm in 1944, and a replica was built in 2016. Now this one is on land and it is not on the dock, but it's pretty cool that they built this replica. So now when you're out here enjoying the sights, you can relax under the shade. The Caloosahatchee River is gorgeous. So Edison and his family, they were avid fishermen. So they would go out, catch some tarpon, and enjoy the river and nature. It's definitely a lot better being here during the winter months than up in New Jersey, where Edison was from. I have to say, these views are gorgeous. We have made it over to the caretaker house. Now, this property that we are on today was purchased by Edison, like I said, in 1885, and it was purchased by Samuel Sutherland. He purchased the property for $2,750. So the center section of this building here, which is known as a Florida Cracker, was Sutherland's house, and it was actually a stopover house. So he was a cattle driver, and so this was one of his stopover locations. Now they added this area here with the garage bays for later on in 1928, I believe it said, and the caretaker lived above. And now they stayed here year-round to take care of the property while Edison was away back in New Jersey and traveling. But they stayed here, make sure the property was well kept up, and to take care of these gorgeous grounds. Now, when we were walking over here, they have these two huge mango trees. And the mangoes are absolutely insane. Now, obviously the squirrels are having a heyday, chowing down on these mangoes, but I don't know if you guys can see these things. They are huge. I've never seen a mango this big before. So across from the caretaker's house, we've made it over to Moonlight Garden. So this beautiful garden was built by the famous landscape architect Alan Shipman in 1929. Yes, 1929. And it was a great spot on the evenings to come and sit. She chose white flowers and different other gorgeous plants to reflect off the moonlight. And right, that building that we see right there is actually Edisons Study. But this is a gorgeous spot. A little bench in the back corner. It'd be great to sit at in the evening times and read a book. definitely be a nice relaxing spot after a long day. There's some jasmine here. I can smell it. So fragrant. Beautiful flowers. So a lot of these flowers that they have here on the grounds you can actually purchase at the garden shop that they have at the front entrance. So we're gonna walk around and check out the study. So we've made it to the front side of Edisons Study. Now this was built in 1886 when Edison first arrived, but this building is actually a replica. The original building is at the Ford Museum in Michigan, so this one is a replica. So let's see. So this was an area so that Edison could actually continue to do his research while he was here in Florida and be close to the water. It is very gorgeous in here. We see a tarpon up on the wall showcasing his love for fishing. So Ford was definitely big into helping Edison with his research, and so he ended up building him a larger laboratory, which we'll see a little bit later, that is across the way. There is the gorgeous river again, and we have made it over to the main house. Now this is the house that Edison built in 1886 with his wife, and it is a gorgeous Queen Anne style house. Now I love Queen Anne style houses, the huge porches, and they really help in this Florida weather because you can sit under the porch, that wind breeze comes underneath, and oh, it feels so good. Now what is great about the restoration that they've done here at this Edison area is that most of the furnishings and everything are still the furnishings that were original to the property. So the wicker chairs and swing that we see on the front porch, those are actually original pieces of property to Edisons house. So we're gonna walk up here, take a look inside the house itself and see what we have. Now it was made out of spruce that they brought in from Maine. So first we have the library, which it's gonna probably be my favorite room in all of this because I love books. That gorgeous glow. There's really not a lot of books in here, but oh, it would be so nice to just sit in here, that breeze come through. In the winter months, it'd be so nice off the river. Let's go around to the side and see. So you can see there's a picture of Edison above the fireplace. A nice sitting area. From the library we have Thomas and Mina's bedroom. It is so pretty. So like I said, a lot of the furnishings in here are original. So Mina, she actually donated the property to the city of Fort Myers for $1. Have a gorgeous view outside of that window. And this property is just gorgeous. Everything that he brought here, all the different vegetation and trees and everything that he was using for his research, it is definitely gorgeous. So it is said that Edison had about 800 books. Now they are preserved now in the climate controlled area. And I want to point out these gorgeous light fixtures. We have one over here, and there's one over there as well. Hard to see through this door. But they are called electroliers that Edison had created. And they have a lot of these original light fixtures throughout the property. So here's one last view of the library and living area. So this actually was originally the dining room, and across the way where their bedroom was originally the kitchen. Now since it's closed and we can't go up to the top level, this is actually some pictures of the main house here, which is called Seminole Lodge, named after the Seminole Indians. So we can see some different pictures of the bedrooms upstairs. So it says these pictures were actually taken in the 1940s. It's kind of cool. Alright, one last look at that gorgeous electrolier. And we're gonna go check out the next house across the way. We made it over to the guest quarters. Now this is the sitting room that we are looking at here. And of course there's another one of those amazing light fixtures. Now, the guest quarters was not originally owned by Edison. It was his business partner's house, but they had a falling out, and then a couple other families owned the property before Edison bought it. I believe it was 1905, but I could be wrong on that. Now, the guest quarters did have a lot of really famous visitors that came and stayed here. So, of course, you had Henry Ford, President Hoover, Harvey Firestone, Forbes. I mean, just so many influential people of the time period coming and staying and visiting Edison here on this amazing piece of property that he had. Again, here's a closer look at the wicker furniture that is all original property of the Edisons. Another view of the sitting room here, we can see this gorgeous piano. Now, the family was well known as all being pianists, and it is said that the first time that Edison and Mina actually met, that she was playing the piano. So we can see another view of that piano right here looking into the dining room. And so when these chimes right here would signal, that would mean it was dinner time. And can you imagine sitting at this table, this gorgeous mahogany table, and having Edison talking with Ford or with Hoover or any of these major influential people of the time, and just hearing what they were talking about. And it was probably about fishing or just something totally different than what we would think that they would be talking about. Here's another one of those gorgeous light fixtures. I love how you have the doorway here and then the other doorway over here. That is a great example of how they built these homes so that the breezeway would go through. You know, now we have the AC, but there would have been no AC at the time period right now. And you would need anything possible to help that breeze go through to make you cool. Now across over here is going to be the kitchen, the food pantry, and the butler's pantry. Now originally they did have a kitchen over in the main house, but once they took over this piece of property, then that's when they eliminated the kitchen and dining area over there, turned it into the library and Edison's bedroom, and now you just had the kitchen and pantry over here. This was the kitchen area that we just looked at, and then upstairs is the living quarters for the kitchen staff and some other people that worked here on the property. And you can see, I mean, the river is right here. You could step out onto that porch and just have these amazing views of the river. It's hot today. It's kind of muggy, but I have to say, the breeze coming off this river is is gorgeous. It's really the only thing that's getting us through this day right now. You know, it is August, and I always say that August is like one of the absolute worst months in the state of Florida. But it's nice having this breeze come through, which is why they build these Queen Anne style houses the way that they did. So now we're gonna step over to the Henry Ford section of this property and see what they have to explore about Henry Ford. As we step through the gates, our first sight into the Henry Ford section is a statue of Henry Ford. Now, Henry Ford came to visit Edison in 1914, but he did not purchase the property that they have here until 1917. So, of course, Henry Ford is most famous for the Ford Motor Company and his Model Ts. So we have some of his amazing vehicles that he built here. This right here is a 1923 Model T. The body style is a touring. It's so cute, I just have to say. It's adorable. Now this one is even cuter. So it's a 1921 Model T that was converted to a truck, and it is just too cute. I could see my mom driving this. And then we have another truck as well. Let's see. This one is a 1917 Model TT truck. So it was the first 1-ton truck. And then the car behind is a 1929 Model A. Kind of think of the gangsters when you see this one. Definitely some cool cars for sure. Still liking this guy right here the best. It's just too cute. Across from the garage, we have a great view of Henry Ford's winter house. So, like I said, he purchased the house in 1916 for $20,000. So it's interesting to see how Edison bought his for close to $3,000, and the inflation, and plus the fact that they knew who Ford was, I'm sure, is why the price was a little more. So let's go and explore this gorgeous house of Henry Ford's. So the room that we are looking at right now was actually the secretary's bedroom. Now, when the house was originally built, it was only the center portion of the house, and then Henry Ford added these rooms on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side is guest quarters and the bath. Now, I want to point out this map here. It is pretty cool. I would love to have something like that hanging in my room. Old map of the state of Florida. Some old Stetson box. And a typewriter. And then there's a picture here. And that's of Henry Ford Edison. And I think that is Firestone with them, but I'm not sure. So the furnishings here are not originally furnishings that were here when Ford was here, but they are historical, and they were chosen because they would be from the same time period. So this is the maid's bedroom. Very simple, quaint little room. And then over here we have the kitchen, butler's pantry. So I was reading that Ford actually only came here for like 2 weeks out of the year, and he timed it when he would come around Edison's birthday, which was February 12th. Again, can't stop painting on this view of the river. Alright, so here we have the living room. So let's check this out. So we have the living room here. It is gorgeous. Another amazing fireplace. And a small piano. Definitely not as big as the Edison piano. Definitely be a nice little spot. This little nook right over here, right there. That's where I would be reading a book. So over here is the guest rooms that I was talking about, how they built this on after. This is a nice size room. Like 2 closets, a bathroom, beds. Gorgeous table. We furnished this very nicely. Another view. The living room is right here. And then we have the dining room. So the pattern that we see on the dining room table is a Wedgwood pattern. It's the Columbia pattern. And it was actually Clara Ford's favorite pattern of China. So we have it represented here. Now, when you look out, Ford was big into citrus and mangoes and all that, so the house is actually called the Mangoes. And then over here we have a grove, small little grove, that has been built as part of the estate and the Florida citrus growers. So it's kind of cool, they're representing what Ford loved. Here we have some mango trees. Across from Ford's property, we have a Mysore fig. So Edison was doing a lot of research while he was here. And one of the things is he brought in a lot of different trees and plants and stuff as part of his research. So this tree was one of those trees that he brought in. He was trying to find a natural source for making rubber. And this is one of the trees he brought here, which is an amazing tree. I mean, it's so gorgeous. Look at all the roots that are on the top. I mean, that is one gorgeous tree. And that view of the river behind it. I mean, not only did he do it for research, but it just adds to the landscape here. There is another cute little house here. It looks like it's a cafe now. It says they have ice cream, cold drinks, and snacks. We're probably going to step inside there and get us some water. It is hot. But there's one last look at that gorgeous tree. Across the way, that is the property that we just walked across. There's Ford's house, Edison's house. This is McGregor Boulevard. We have our historical marker. Y'all know I try to find these everywhere that I can go. And of course, the Edison Ford Estate is a historical landmark. So it received its plaque in 2002. Same year I graduated high school. On this side of the grounds, we have the garden shop. And it is dedicated to Mina Edison herself. So she was big into gardening, as was Edison, of course. And so we have this gorgeous area where there are different plants and stuff that you can buy, but this whole area is part of the horticultural aspect of the grounds. So we have the botanical laboratory. You can see over here they're doing a tour, and there's a statue of Edison himself. So if you want to buy any of these great plants that they have around the property, you can actually do that here as part of the shop. And they're actually pretty decent prices, I have to say. I saw a succulent over there that I was thinking about getting, and it was actually only $4, which looked in better shape than when you buy from some of the big box places. But definitely, if you are a gardener and love plants, this would be a great place to purchase not only a keepsake for visiting the Edison property, but just to add to your collection of plants. Lavender bells. That is gorgeous. So we're going to keep walking around and seeing what we have on this side of the property. So we can see a closer look at this great statue of Edison, and behind him is actually a banyan tree. So he planted this tree here as a source of his research. So banyan trees actually contain latex, which was used as part of his research for a natural source of rubber. So at the time we were getting rubber from overseas, and him and Ford and Firestone were trying to find a way of having a local source of rubber here in the United States. And so this is one of the trees that Edison planted as part of that research. It's a gorgeous tree. So they're called a walking tree, is what it said, because of how all its roots just continue to walk away from the main source. It also says that this is one of the largest ones, they believe, in the United States. For one of Ford's vehicles, this is the 1918 Model T Roadster, also known as the Chuck Wagon. Let's see the back of the wagon. And there it is. So it says here on this little placard that the truck was able to go to top speeds of 45. However, though, due to road conditions, it could only make it to 25 or 30 miles an hour. And its gas mileage ranged between 13 to 21 miles per gallon, which isn't too bad. I mean, there's still vehicles today that get in that mileage range. A lot of really great information about Ford in here, and Edison and Firestone with all of their work that they were doing. Another great map of the state of Florida. So we are, let's see, we're down here. There is Lee County right there. In Fort Myers, it's right there, that circle. And just for a little help of where everything kind of is located, so Tampa is in this area right here, and then Orange County is over here where we have Orlando. So there's Kissimmee, Davenport area, so right about in this area right here is going to be where Disney World is. And then Miami down there, of course. So when we're learning about the history of Fort Myers, if you actually look, so the circle is Fort Myers, and if you go straight down, you go down here to Key West. So there's Key West. So the first settlers that came to Fort Myers actually came from Key West, and they went straight up. So that's how this area actually was founded, was by some travelers from Key West. So Edison was born in Ohio, February 11th, 1847, and he is known as one of the greatest inventors of his time, and even today. So he has received a total of 1,093 patents, more than any other American inventor. And throughout this area of the museum, they actually have a lot of examples of his different inventions and items that he received patents on. Now, not everything did Edison invent. but sometimes he would just improve it, and so that's what his patent was on. It was improving the different items. So back here we have the telegraph and telephone. Alarm system. So we have made it over to Edisons Lab. So this is where he worked, trying to do his chemical processes of creating the rubber out of the banyan tree and all the other plants that he had here on property. This is actually amazing. So it says that what was important is he needed to find plants that had a high content of latex yield that he could get out of them. So performing his different researches, he was able to discover which plants were the best ones to use. This was a dark room for different photos that he took. He would process them in here. These are different plants, specimens that he had, all of his research. Wow, look at this goldenrod. So this was his actual office in here. So there's Edison right there with a picture of the goldenrod. That is right there. Well guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys learned something about Edison and Ford while we walked around this beautiful estate that they have. So, like I said, if you guys want to help Fort Myers area or any of the states that have been affected by this horrible hurricane, I encourage you to do your part. And I know that sometimes that's a hard thing financially, but if you can find a local organization that is sending supplies down to some of these affected areas, just buying a roll of paper towels will really help somebody out. So I know a lot of us think about with hurricanes and everything that we need to stock up on food and all of that, and that is a major thing. But as somebody who has lived through one of these massive hurricanes, I can tell you right now that they are being blessed by so much food and so many supplies when it comes to that with water and everything, by so many incredible, loving people who have come down. I know in Panama City, you went on every street corner and you could get water, you could get food, and you didn't have to worry about cooking it. What they need is cleaning supplies. That's not something that you really think about when you're doing your hurricane preparedness kit, is all the cleaning supplies that you're going to need after the fact. So if you can help and donate a mop or paper towels, some gloves, things like that, bleach, empty spray bottles, things like that, that they can help clean up their houses. Now the storm brought in some devastation with flooding, and it was all over the state, and so bleach is something that's really going to be needed to help combat the mold that is growing right now. So if you can do any part. Now, I know locally, our sheriff's department, they have sent off some people to go help with relief. There's a lot of church organizations that are gathering supplies this week, and they are sending them off. So if you can go to one of your local organizations who is sending relief, that is going to be the quickest and best way that you can get those supplies to the people. Now, if you can't do that and you want to send some monetary money to help with the relief, I can put some links down below, some different organizations that I believe in that I know will definitely send the help that is needed as well. Now, if you actually want to do your part and go down and help in some of these devastating areas, I will also send down a link below for that as well. If you are a local Florida resident, there's actually a state page that you can go to volunteer for help as well. And I know all these people, they would be grateful for anything that you send. I know I was grateful for every single thing that we got, so these people will feel the same. So I want to say thank you guys, I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!